Hey truth seekers, welcome back. Zach here. In this video, I want to expand on the work I've done on Brexit and the rigged election that was. There's a lot of people who are celebrating the United Kingdom leaving the European Union, and these people don't understand what the symbolism of this vote was. The powers that be scripted this momentary withdrawal from the European Union, a withdrawal that is sure not to last. And why have they done this? They've done this for the sake of creating illusion amongst the people that they have power, that their votes matter, that the tyrannical agenda that is upon we, the people of this world, can be stopped. And I'm not here to say that it can't be stopped, but where it cannot be stopped is within voting in elections which are rigged, predetermined, and symbolic, used to steer we, the people of this world, down the path of agenda. Look at what they're doing just hours after the leave vote for the United Kingdom from the European Union. They're putting out headlines of regrexit, as in regret. And they're saying that already millions have rallied to call for another referendum to have a second vote. Remember, this leave vote is non-binding, meaning it can be stopped, and it will be stopped. The powers that be, the Freemasons, the Zionists, the Jesuits, operating in high places, they have been controlling this one world order for centuries. And at the heart of their control has been the United Kingdom. So they're using the United Kingdom as a symbolic chess piece right now. It's a move that is only temporary. What they're going to do with this narrative is say, see people, you can't break away from this greater one world government. When you do, bad things come. Your markets collapse, you're unsafe, the terrorist boogeyman will get you. You know, here in the United States, ever since Brexit, they've been telling us, now our market's not as stable, now our borders aren't as secure. We in the United States should recognize that if this is true, then we're not a sovereign nation, which we never have been. The United States of America was created by this new world order, this one world order, this Masonic Zionist Jesuit world order, this Jew world order. The United States has always been under this tyranny, and so is much of the Western world. What they have done here with Brexit is just a symbolic moment to reinforce their message that one world government is the way, it's the way of economic stability, it's the way of safety. But really what it is just them providing a momentary excuse to grow their government, to grow their control over us. You know? It's so obvious. Let me take you back to what they did to us here in the United States in 2013. I wrote this on my Facebook page because I saw all these people who follow my channel celebrating Brexit. For the record, if you want to be my Facebook friend, you're more than welcome to. I only created this Facebook page for the people who follow my online work. Anyhow, what I wrote is, hello people, let's go back to 2013 and remember what happened here in the United States, because it's very much similar to what's going on with Brexit right now. In 2013, John Kerry and Barack Obama started beating the war drum with Syria, saying we needed to invade, we needed to attack. It was the Iraq war all over again. It was deja vu. What happened as soon as we decided not to go to war? In the news headlines, they said there was no public support for the war, so they couldn't go through with it. But then what happened right after? I mean, just days after they said they would no longer pursue war. What happened? It was propaganda about ISIS. Out of nowhere came this new Islamic boogeyman. You know, they'd been telling us that Al-Qaeda was on the defeat, winding down, falling apart, trying to build this narrative that we're winning the war on terrorism, which is just a giant hoax, you know, part of this money-making machine. The banker tyrants who rule over us, they occupy central banks. Central banks exist based on continued debt creation. It's the way the whole system works. And what creates more debt than wars and lending for war? This is why there's so much war and needless war in this world. Anyhow, All of a sudden came the boogeyman of ISIS. All these news stories about ISIS, and then ISIS recruiting teen girls from the United States, and ISIS inspiring people to kill, and ISIS cutting people's heads off and burning them in boxes. And just day after day, all this coverage of ISIS. And then if you turned on C-SPAN, what would you hear there? You'd hear Republican congressmen saying, Barack Obama's weak because he didn't go to war with Syria. We're going to be fighting ISIS at our doorstep. And now if you turn on the Congress, all this time from 2013 up to the present, the same thing, the same message. And it becomes more and more commonplace. More and more congressmen saying, we need to fight ISIS. They're here. We're going to have to fight them here if we don't fight them over there. It's the same thing they were saying when we went into Iraq and Afghanistan. This is the way the system works. They have to create a narrative. They have to create a storyline to keep us on the path of agenda. What seems like a win for some with Brexit will soon be used to say, see, we told you so. You can't step away from us. You're owned by us. Under us, you'll be more prosperous. You'll be more safe. This is what Brexit is all about. This is how these people have always governed. They give people false victories, symbolic, that then they flip on their head and drive people back on the path they want them to. You know, this is steering cattle. This is steering sheep. This is creating the herd. All of you who think this is some win, you don't understand the world you live in. The votes are not legitimate. They are planned. They are scripted. They are predetermined. Look at what I keep telling you. They script everything according to the numbers of prophecy. They're calling it regrexit now in the UK, a play on Brexit. Show you this gematria of regrexit. Regrexit sums to the exact same thing as prophecy. Remember, they said 52% of the people voted to leave. If you haven't seen my prior videos on Brexit, I'll link them in the description. It was all planned. It was all forecast. It was foreshown in the movies. London has fallen. You know, the day after the vote, Independence Day resurgence. Resurgent equals 52. I showed how the leave vote was scripted into the death of Joe Cox. So much more. You know? Here's what else I'll show you. The Invictus Games ties into all this with the United States and the UK. You know, they're saying the United States will follow the UK's lead on this vote. The Invictus Games, hosted by both countries, this was the big advertisement. The American runner with the number 239, the British runner with the number 223. Show you what's interesting about these numbers in light of the Brexit vote. 239 is the 52nd prime. 223 is the 48th prime. The vote was 52% to 48%. Special numbers to the gang. The Invictus Games were named after the poem written by William Henley, which ends, I am the master of my fate. That phrase in gematria also sums to 223, just like what's on the British runner for the ad. Of course, Masonic 223, the synagogue of Satan, the name given to the false Jews who will rule in the end times, who control this new world, one world order, which is really a Jew world order or a Jewish world order. Remember, the Jewish people are the false Jews. They stole the identity of the real Jews. If you read the Bible, those people are clearly the black people of the world. If you follow my work, you see how much is coded into hating on black people by this Jewish cartel. You know, you just read all this. You read these articles, you just see how it's all propaganda. You know, all these people supposedly interviewed who have all these regrets already, you know, regretted it just by the next morning after the vote. This is all narrative. These aren't real people. These aren't real tweets. It's just contrived propaganda to steer the course, to steer people. You know, now they want to shame the people who voted leave. The people who want to resist this giant government, you know, this obese, oversized, abusive government, all those people are now being shamed. and in time the masses will be herded back in to the European Union, or who knows, whatever they have planned after that. You know, David Cameron's hinting at World War III. Maybe they're going to take us there. Maybe we're to that point. That's something I've been looking at since September 11th, 2001. If you missed my video on September 11th, 2001, the Orlando shooting after the Invictus Games, all the symbolism, it all points to them taking us down this path of more war, a greater war. Who knows? After that war, maybe we'll have the transatlantic, union. The United States, Europe, UK, maybe we'll all be in one thing. We'll be that much closer to the recognized one world order. But this is why they do it. This is what it's all about. Nobody's votes are counted. They said 33 million people voted in the UK. Brexit equaled 33. It's a joke. It's the same thing in the US and the United States. All these nations ruled by the same gang that operate the same way by the same number code. If you want to be my Facebook friend, feel free to send me an invite. The only reason I have this Facebook page is not to communicate with people, but just so I can post my information and other people who are like-minded can converse together. Once upon a time, I used to have a Facebook with my friends and family, and anytime I posted anything, all it was everyone telling me I was crazy. So I said, see you guys all later. I don't have time for the sheeple. I went out, I made the YouTube account, I started preaching my message. Now I have people who follow and listen. I'm trying to build a community of people who care, who want to interact. There's even 2 people who've gotten into a relationship finding each other through my Facebook page. Isn't that something? So anyway, if you want to join, I'm just trying to create a community of like-minded people, people who want to share information, become informed. Feel free to send me a Facebook request. As long as you're not a spam bot, I will accept your friend request. Until next time, Truth Seeker.